What is going on, everybody? It is. What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Jamar Montgomery here. And, thank you for rocking with me, sticking with me all this time. I'm here because I've been I don't know how many podcasts I've been on ooh, in the last 2 months, 6, 7 podcasts. Um, you know what I mean? I've been on a number of podcasts. And I was on this one particular podcast and I was glad because it was not necessarily adversarial, but it definitely these were people with a different perspective and point of view, and I love those. I love those kinds of podcasts because it challenges me. It challenges me, and I was just sitting over there like, you know, I, I'm 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 sitting over there and I'm listening to him. Let me tell you what the podcast was about. The podcast is from a Canadian gentleman, and he's a futurist. Great. He was asking me questions about politics, and he was talking about Donald Trump and his most recent executive actions and some of the things that he was talking about with Canada. And I was like, yo, he was like, if he doesn't he's like, Trump says these things and he doesn't realize that he's ruining relationships. And I'm like, this could be a reset of a relationship. It can be you know it could be a reset. It could be a renegotiation of that relationship between the United States and Canada. And it got me thinking. I was saying, like, Trump is shaking a lot of things up. And he's like, well, don't you think that it's also shaking things up for the United States? And I said, yeah, absolutely. By inevitably, that when you shake things up, when you're shaking somebody else up, you end up being shaken as well. And so you get to figure out where people actually stand and where you stand. And also, you get to discover things that you normally wouldn't have discovered if you hadn't did it. And I was like, yo, you know, everybody all around the world treats the United States like the United States is a rich baby daddy. And what do I mean by that? It means that that the United States is responsible for supporting everybody, that the United States is supposed to do things out of obligation and out of duty, and that it's a one-sided deal, and that everybody else benefits more than the United States benefits on their own deals. And just the way in which this gentleman was talking, and no issue with the gentleman, but he was like, you're repeating a lot of the same points that everybody else makes. And I'm like, there's truth to it. There's truth to it. And I was saying, like, look, the United States helps provide for the defense of Canada. You know what I mean? I went and did some research. Canada is a member of NATO and NORAD, right? And so I'm sitting over there like, dude, everybody treats the United States. Nobody gives the United States the respect that they actually deserve. And I'm starting to understand where President Trump is coming from with his executive actions and with his executive orders. I get it. I'm starting to get it. Because when you travel across the world and you listen to people, people people take the United States for granted. Point blank, period. And if you are in a relationship and people are not afraid of you leaving, you are in a relationship to be taken advantage of. Because that means that people will do anything and everything. They will disrespect you. They will take advantage of you. They will walk all over you. They will do all of that. They will do all of that. And you will, and they'll do it unapologetically, right? BPU, Black People United, said, what about the executive orders that he's tearing down what our ancestors built? BPU, you're more than welcome to come on up in about 3 minutes. I'm going to finish my first monologue, and then I'm going to bring you up because I want to hear what you have to say. But I was just thinking about, like, dude, the United States, people were tripping off of J.D. Vance and what he had to say at the Munich Security Councils, the Security Conference. The United States provides a lot of things for the world. And I'm not one to think that we're so strong and so powerful that we get to bully everyone. But I am going to say that there is a power dynamic that the United States is not necessarily taking advantage of. Or when they did take advantage of it, it was not uh, to the benefit of the American people. It was to the benefit of whatever foreign policy agenda was of that particular administration. I'm seeing that there's this shift, right? And in the shift and in all the chaos, there's opportunity. There's chaos in the shift, and in the chaos there is opportunity. There's opportunity for people who are international to make more international moves, to be unofficial spokespersons, if not official spokespersons for the United States. But it's just interesting, right? When I started looking through some of the statistics of like the U.S. relationships with Canada, right? We share the largest longest international border, 5,225 miles with 120 ports of entry, right? That let's go here. That the Canada provides for us oil, crude oil and energy, right? That these are the things that Canada provides to us. What do we provide to Canada? Some of our biggest exports are cars, right? Thinking about, the relationship between Canada and the United States, the fact that Trump said, oh, well, we're going to annex, Canada can be the 51st state. What it's saying is that, yo, uh, you might as well become part of the United States if the United States is going to always take care of the bill and that you're benefiting off of the federal government and yet we the American people don't get to benefit. Like I'm glad that I had that discussion and I had that exchange with him because it really was like, let me go here. Um, U.S. and Canada trade relations, right? The United States and Canada have a close trade relationship with each other as their largest trading partner, right? So Canada is the United States' largest trading partner, and the United States is Canada's largest trading partner, right? Um, in 2024, Canada had a merchandise trade surplus of $102.3 billion with the United States. Canada is the largest market for U.S. goods and services. Crazy, right? So we need Canada and Canada needs us, but there's got to be there's Canada benefited $102.3 billion more from that relationship than the United States did. And one thing that I am learning here, that you have to exercise power. You cannot be afraid of your own power. You cannot be afraid of what other people are going to think. You have to be focused on what it is that you want and you keep on pushing. You can be a hard businessman, you could be a hard dealer, and then recognize in the areas where people don't have to do business with you and where people have to do business with you, and really taking advantage of and exploiting those relationships. And you start thinking like, oh, well, I want to do what's best for everybody, versus, is the person sitting across the table from you, are they thinking about what's best for everybody? Are they thinking about compromise? Are they thinking about, are they trying to be fair to you? Are they trying to be advantageous to themselves? And that's a cold, cold, cold way of looking at things. And it's a way that I've been forced to now think about things. Like now that I've the stakes for me have gotten higher, and the things that I focus on, the things that I'm involved in are much bigger and are much more important and more impactful. It's like, oh, okay. I have an obligation to my shareholders. I have an obligation to those that are dependent upon me, right? I have an obligation to those folks, and I don't have an obligation to the person sitting across from me. Carolyn White said, "Are you serious? USA in a group. Let's go. I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you got to say." There we go. I want to hear what you got to say. It is just very interesting when you start playing at higher levels, and you recognize like you have to be clear about what your interests are and be unapologetic about negotiating for those interests, advocating for your interests. Otherwise, you're gonna be in trouble. Think about it this way: you got children. You got children. Your children are hungry, and you have an opportunity to bring them groceries that's going to feed them for the day, or the opportunity for you to get groceries that feeds them for the week. And you know that your kids need to eat regardless. And you take, you know what? I'm only going to feed my kids for a day, versus I got the power and I could have negotiated, and it would have been a hard deal, but I could have negotiated a deal where my kids ate for a week. Your kids would look at you like, now they wouldn't know it, but they if they knew like you could have went after the bigger thing and you went after the smaller thing, they would look at you like, what are you doing? Why'd you negotiate for the lesser and not for the greater? That's what I'm like, yo, when you start entering into business and politics, oftentimes people are like, oh, you know what? Well, I want to do I want people to enjoy negotiating with me and enjoy doing business with you. People are going to enjoy doing business with you if you do good business, and also if you provide a superior product and service. But also, you need to take advantage of the business of whatever power dynamic. You need to take advantage of that. That is literally the essence of business, of taking advantage of taking advantage of whatever power dynamic that you have. Crazy. Crazy. I see what Dame Dash was talking about. He was like, I'm not there to screw the artist. Like I could, but I'm not. And now, like when you've been taken advantage of, you don't when you get taken advantage of, you're not trying to take advantage of smaller people. What you're trying to do is take advantage of larger people. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. And that's where the focus really needs to be. But like just thinking about this whole shakeup between the United States and Canada, and it's interesting. The United States is in big trouble, period. My God, Trump is only thinking about Trump. I don't think Trump is only thinking about Trump. I don't. I used to think that way. Come on up. Come on up. I'm inviting you to come on up and share your thoughts. I don't think Trump is only thinking about Trump. I can tell you that. Now, is he trying to make sure that either him or his friends benefit off of a deal? Absolutely. But it's very difficult to just focus on yourself, and yeah. Uh, the only way that happens, that's what happens in third world countries. And if you believe that United States is operating like a third world country just because Trump is in office, then I got news to tell you that Every president has their best interest at heart. They have to. There is a bit of selfishness in every president, in every politician. You have to. Self preservation is the rule, is the number one rule. Self preservation. So yes, is he thinking about himself? Absolutely. Is he also thinking about the country? Yes. He has a job to do. He also has to survive it. And he's got a legacy. He's got a legacy that he wants to provide. That he wants to that he wants to cement. So just thought, man, that like that conversation, he's like, oh well, I want my audience to like you. Not from the podcast I had earlier today. Just interesting. Just interesting. Just interesting. Yeah. Ah, what's y'all's thoughts? What's y'all's thoughts? I'm interested in hearing y'all's thoughts. There's people who love Trump. There's people who hate Trump. There's people who like Trump. There's people who dislike Trump. There's people who are indifferent about him. Like I said, uh, I never thought in a million years I'd vote for Trump. But when he started speaking on the things that were important to me, crypto, business taxes, and the Second Amendment, it's like, well, the other candidates aren't talking my language. Cornel West wasn't talking my language. And to be honest, black folks need to be focused solely on economics. Roland Martin said, if you ain't if you're in America and you're not having a conversation about money, you're not having an American conversation." And so many black folks in America are not having American conversations. We're having uh, Negrito conversations. We're having useless conversations. We're having cultural conversations, right? I've gotten so tired of hearing like all the breakdowns of what went on with Kendrick Lamar's performance, Super Bowl performance. Was there layers to it? Was it deep? Yes, his music is deep. There's layers to it. Why are we spending all this time analyzing it? It does us no good analyzing all of this. It does us no good analyzing all of this and we don't put any of it into action. Like, yes, our art is there to talk about the conditions that we're living in America and the social conditions of the world. Yes, those things are important. That those things will not save you. Having an understanding of it will not save you. You know what will save you? Getting money, getting resources, pulling your resources together. That will save you. I just think about our people. I think about our people because I was a social justice warrior. Backdoor Bandit said fried chicken. Fried chicken, if you selling it, be a producer, not a consumer. Be a net producer, not a net consumer. Fried chicken if you selling it. Fried chicken if you getting paid off of it. But that's funny. Like I said, people say wild things on my thing, but don't come up, and I'm inviting folks to come up. Don't be shy. Don't bite. Let's see if I can try to get this. Ah, ah. Let's see if we do that. There we go. Come on. There we go. Like I said, I'm inviting folks to come on up. Say your piece. It is just interesting, man. Just interesting. Like, think about the fact that President Trump is part of the narrative of the culture and ingratiating himself within the culture. This is the first president I know that has done a lap in the Beast at the Daytona 500. First time I've ever seen that. Oh, Make Me King, thank you for the live. Thank you for liking the lives. Can we get the lives up? Can we get the likes up? That's how others are able to hear this conversation and how they're able to join in on this conversation. Why? I have the smartest, the most intelligent, the most insightful audience in the world. All smart, intelligent people, insightful and perspective people come on my podcast, come on my platform to come and speak and come to learn things. For those of you that are new here, my name is Dr. Jamar Montgomery. I'm your favorite rapper's favorite political advisor. I have advised the likes of Kanye West, the likes of President Trump. I've attended the press conference with President Biden during the G7 in Hiroshima, Japan in 2023. I am a polymath. I started college at the age of 11, started full-time at 14, graduated in 19 with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Former weapons systems engineer for the United States Navy. Former lawyer and public defender. Businessman, entrepreneur. So you're dealing with somebody that was involved in politics. I ran for United States Senate in the 2020 elections. This is who's currently looking at you and talking to you right now. And I'm looking forward to hearing people's perspectives on what I just got done talking about. What did I just get done talking about? The trade relationship and the resetting of a relationship between Canada and the United States. Um, the resetting of black folks' minds when it comes to what's going to save them. And I'm trying to tell you, like, the love of money is the root of all evil, and poverty is the root of all crime. So you're going to have to strike that balance between loving money and you're going to have to strike that balance between utilizing money for what it is, utilizing it for the tool that it is, or being poor. Because best believe, if you're poor, then somebody's getting rich off of you being poor. Make Me King, thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate that. Thank you for the likes. But yeah, um, Trump being at the Daytona 500, I thought that was dope. People got so much to say, got so many attitudes when it comes to President Trump, but crazy. Get money. Get you some money, you gonna feel different. That's some real talk right there. Get you some money, you gonna feel different. I think Nipsey said that. Yep. 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 So yeah, y'all. Let's see. I'm inviting folks on up. Come on up. Want to hear what y'all have to say. Want to hear what y'all have to say. But that stuff with Canada, man, was interesting. Mexico is safe because the United States, right? Mexico doesn't have to worry about any invasion of any other country because the United States. Canada doesn't have to worry about that because the United States. The fact that we do business with them, and it's like, dude, there's some real sacrifices that have to be made. Some real sacrifices. And what happens is the attitude of we can do it ourselves. That I'm willing to go without. I'm willing to go without. I'm willing to figure out a way or make a way rather than be taken advantage of. Mm. Yeah, that's real talk. That's real talk. And that's what I'm recognizing. That's what I'm recognizing. Like you having to advocate, you having to advocate and do what's best for your people. A lot of people ain't gonna like it. A lot of people ain't gonna like it. Yo, 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 how you doing? How you doing? What's up? How y'all doing? See, get my phone together. What's good? How you living? Let's do it like this. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Wasn't trying to co-host with nobody. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a great day.